All right. We're joined by three-time captain Tuf Borland, and we will start the questioning with Nathan Baird from Cleveland.com. Nathan, if you're ready to go, start us off.
Hey, Tuff. There's been some other teams that have opened up their seasons around the country, and the play has been fairly sloppy, and fundamentals have been an issue. What is this defense doing to try to get in front of that and not have it be a problem when you guys open the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always an issue towards the beginning of the year is how are people going to tackle? How are people going to block? How are people going to protect the football? And we've seen that. As a defense, just going back to the fundamentals, tackling really. I think it all starts with your approach to the ball carrier, tracking that back hip, making sure you're in a good football position. And that's really all we've been able to work up until this point. Obviously, yesterday was our first day in pads, and moving forward, we'll be able to work on that a little bit more as far as the wrap, the squeeze, and driving your legs. It's definitely a focus point in practice. So it's just something we're going to have to be focused on and continue to work.
And Coach Washington was talking about what Pete could gain by moving over to Will this year. Barron's talking about how excited he is to move to Sam. I guess both of those guys, how does the defense benefit if those guys play a lot in those positions this year?
I think they're both unbelievable football players, unbelievable athletes, and they both have their unique skill sets, and they both add tremendous value to what we're going to do on that side of the ball. So we're really excited. I'm really excited to have another year with those guys, and just really excited.
All right, we'll go next to Austin Ward from Letterman Row with Bill Rabinowitz on deck. Austin.
Tough when Pete and Barron and all these guys are getting to talk about playing different positions. Do you feel like you're missing out? That you're just still there in the middle, Mr. Consistency with nothing new?
No, I mean, I think each year, you have different things you want to focus on. Obviously, I have experience at Mike, and I'm comfortable there. I'm very comfortable there. But each year you have focus points on things you want to improve. So I think staying at that position makes it, a little bit easier because you kind of already have a feel for, what's gonna happen in the game setting. So just take those things, continue to work on them. Has been my focus.
Sorry, who's coming up behind you, catching your eye that eventually at some point you're not going to be a captain and starting for the Buckeyes, and someone's gonna have to take your place? Who's coming in behind you?
All those guys have done an unbelievable job. Dallas, Taraja, guys, you guys all talk about it all the time. But top to bottom, the whole room has done an unbelievable job. This offseason, it's been a little bit unique, but you can tell guys have put in a lot of time, and the work shows. And even guys like Mitch and Cody, they've come in and they've done an unbelievable job. So top to bottom, you can't say enough good things about this room.
All right, next up is Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch with Clay Hall on deck. Bill.
Tuff, you've been here so long, and I think most Buckeye fans think that you're definitely a known quantity. How are you going to be a different player this year if you are? What have you worked on? How do you think you'll be different?
No, I mean, I think starting from quarantine, being away for a little bit, I was able to really focus on the things I needed to work on. I've kind of tried to change my body a little bit, lean up, improve speed, explosiveness, and focus on, block destruction, something that's, you really need in the middle around those guys. But I also know I need to be able to play in space. and cover well and tackle in space. So those are the things I've really tried to attack this offseason.
How much weight did you drop if that's what happened?
No, I haven't dropped any weight. I actually gained weight, gained a few pounds, but just leaning up, get my body right where it needs to be.
And just in terms of the unit, I get the sense it's a very unselfish unit, and it's going to have to be, right? Because you guys are going to be mixing and matching so much.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, top to bottom. These guys are all unbelievable players, unbelievable athletes, and I have nothing but confidence that, if whoever's in the game is going to perform at a really high level.
Thanks, Tuf.
All right, next up is Clay Hall from WSYX with Colin Hass-Hill on deck. Clay.
Yeah, Tuf. There's so many. This room is so veteran. You and Justin are graduates. I mean, Pete's a senior, Barron's a senior. I'm just wondering, not about clicks, but are the older guys more concerned about real life stuff and who knows what, where the younger kids, Tommy and some of those guys, are worried about their girlfriend and the psych test, where you guys have moved on to a different place off the field? Is that possible? And still maintain the camaraderie?
No, I think it's definitely possible. The camaraderie in this room is unbelievable. We're extremely close. I feel like this is one of the closest units since I've been here. Obviously, we're all in our own unique spaces. Some guys are older than others. But with the whole COVID situation, some guys are moving out of the dorm. All guys are really,
Yeah.
And they're in the a local apartment complex. So those guys have had to grow up and take on some responsibilities that otherwise they wouldn't have to. So I don't know how much difference in age there is.
Okay, so you haven't got your stock portfolio figured out yet?
No, not quite yet.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Colin Hass-Hill from 11 Warriors with Tim May on deck. Colin.
Hey, Tuf, when you sort of look at what the defensive line lost and Chase and Devon in the secondary with losing 3 starters, I know that you guys lost Malik, obviously, to the NFL, but you have 7 upperclassmen back. How much do you feel like you guys as linebackers just sort of have to be the heart of what this defense does this year?
I mean, there's definitely that added responsibility comes with being a veteran player and being around. But guys in those 2 groups have stepped up big time and are going to have to continue to do so. We've kind of taken it upon ourselves to kind of lead, the defense as a whole each day in the way we attack it, and our energy, our enthusiasm, the way we approach practice, meetings, and everything. At some point, some guys have to, show the younger guys the way, right? How to be a pro, how to a professional in the way that they attack their off the field stuff. So in the classroom, the way they approach their film study, things like that.
Then I was wondering for you specifically, what do you think makes a good middle linebacker? And what have you seen from the other guys who are getting reps at Mike throughout the offseason and then with just preseason camp beginning?
I think a lot of it is a mentality. You're going to be in there banging with the bigger guys, but you can attack that with a mentality and certainly technique to overcome, taking on the 330-pound offensive lineman, whatever it is. And then being versatile enough to just play in space, drop in coverage, and do everything that you need to do.
Up next is Tim May from the Tim May podcast with Bill Landis on deck. Tim.
So if it's been 9 months since you've gotten to line up with pads on and hit somebody, just how revved up are you guys, especially in the linebacker room, to get back to what y'all call business?
No, it's great. Running onto the field yesterday, it was it was an unbelievable feeling just to be out there with the guys. It truly felt like what a fall football season would feel like. We were just excited to compete, excited to, I think Coach Hartline said enough of the basketball stuff. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was good to be out there and feel the contact, certainly, and play, just play.
Yeah, there was a former defense coordinator at Ohio State who once said basketball is a contact sport, football is a collision sport. I think that summed it up. You personally, what will Pete Werner bring to the will position? What tells you that he could be very, very good at that position?
Well, obviously Pete, extremely versatile player. Last year played Sam. Actually was playing safety in some of our coverages. But extremely versatile, extremely athletic, has a lot of experience. So you're going to have that veteran, savvy type linebacker over there. And most people don't know he's 245 pounds and he can bring it. So he's going to do a great job over there at Will.
And by the way, one quickie, you're third-year captain. You've been playing almost since you got to Ohio State. What do you think it's like for those guys behind? Been there for several years now, but you and Pete are still sitting there. So is Barron, for that matter, wanting to play. How anxious or frustrated do you think they could be feeling right now?
Those guys have been awesome. Obviously, everyone comes here to play and expects to come in and play right away. But the thing about those guys, what makes them special, is they're willing to sit back and learn, from some of the older guys. And, we had the opportunity to do that as well, to learn behind the older guys that were here when we were, young. So you can't say enough good things about those guys, the way that they've approached it every day. They're fully supportive of us. And anything that we can do to kind of pass along tips or things we've learned, we try to do that. So I think it's a great mix of guys in the linebacker room.
Thanks, man.
All right, next up is Bill Landis from The Athletic with Patrick Murphy on deck. Bill.
Hey, Tuf. Coach Washington brought up Tommy Eichenberg as a young guy who's kind of impressed him a little bit. I'd imagine he's doing a lot of the same things that you do, kind of positionally. What have you seen out of Tommy, and is he a guy you've tried to take under your wing at all as he continues to develop?
Yeah, Tommy's been doing a great job from the day he's gotten here, and particularly in this time away, you can tell. He's grown a lot physically. He's moving really well. He's running really well. And just having another year under his belt to learn the defense. I try to take him under my wing, try to, again, help him however I can, pass along things that I see or tips I have just from experience. He's doing a great job. He's grown a lot. And when Tommy's in the game, he's going to do well.
And I know he's not in your position room, but it seems like Master T was coming back from a similar injury to what you had to come back from a couple of years ago. I'm just wondering if you guys talked at all about what it takes to come back from that, and working through some of the issues that I guess arise and frustrations that arise when you're trying to go through something like that.
Yeah. Well, certainly the Achilles is a tough injury to have. I think that's one of the worst fears, one of the worst injuries you could have. But he's doing an unbelievable job, doing a great job, working with the athletic trainers here. And one of the things I just tried to like let him know and help him is the recovery process is never linear, right? So there's going to be ups and downs, good days, bad days, but you have to just stay consistent in your approach to rehabbing. And if you do that, I think things will work out in the end. So he's come along really well. He's doing a great job.
Thanks.
And last set of questions for Tuf will go with Patrick Murphy from 247 Sports. Patrick.
Tuf, we obviously know about your leadership as a three-time captain, but Barron was talking about the linebacking group as a whole stepping up as leaders, being the more veteran group of the defense. How have you seen some of the other veteran linebackers kind of show that this offseason?
Well, like I said earlier, we just kind of taken it on ourselves to teach people how to, approach the game. You see how everyone goes out there and play, and you just see the play, but you don't see all the work that goes into it. And that's really what we've tried to help the younger players with, is how to attack film, how to approach practice, how to do all the things behind the scenes that need to be done to play at a high level.
And when you have, I think it's 7 upperclassmen in a room like that, how different is that room than maybe some of the others you've been in when you haven't had as much experience, maybe as much leadership as you were just talking about throughout your time at Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when you're not as experienced, you can't go to the person next to you and be like, hey, what happened here? And now you can just lean over to the person next to you and just be like, what did you see here? And they can tell you exactly what happened and what you need to do better next time.
Thanks, Tuf.
All right, Tuf, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time today. Have a great practice.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll bring